Good morning, everyone. It's Catherine from my hillside garden. Today we're going to work on some of the containers on the deck. As you can see, the peas have pretty much gone over. And believe it or not, I did have a fairly nice harvest from these. Really wasn't enough for a meal for two at any one time, but I would come out and I'd pick them off and eat them fresh. And that's just the way I love sugar snap peas, to eat them fresh off the vine as I walk around the garden. I've gotten some new varieties of heat-resistant, heat-tolerant lettuces. So I decided in these two pots, that's what we're going to plant in there. So join me as I clean these out and get those seeds planted. I'm going to reset the thermometer. It says it's 75 degrees right now, and we're still fairly in the shade even though I'm in the sun. It's going to be very warm today again, and we're expecting thunderstorms. So let's just check and see if we have any more peas on here. I don't think we do. So we'll just take this. I'm going to leave the roots in, so I'm just going to pull them from the pot. Let's get you a better view. I'm just going to pull them out from the pot. And then the next thing that I'll do to prepare the soil is I will put some, I think we'll use some worm compost. Let's do that, worm castings. And that'll be what we'll use to freshen up the soil. So now we have all of those. Is that a weed? Nope, that's a pea. Here's another one. Okay. All right. So then I think we can just pull that right on out. Oh, remember that mouse planted that pea over in the trough bed, so okay. So now all of this will end up in the compost pile. Let's get that off of there. Oh boy. Okay, let's do the next one because I don't think they're going to come apart. Okay, so let me go get the seeds. We'll get the worm castings. We'll get this stirred up a little bit and get the lettuce planted. This soil is on the rather dry side, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet it down very well first before we add the worm castings. And this particular pot I had purchased in a big box store, I think it was last year, and there were no holes in the bottom. No holes. So what I did was I had drilled a hole to let out any excess water that would collect in there as time goes on, and I found that to be a very good thing because then at least the water will collect in the bottom and the roots will go down. This is very dry, so let's just mix that up a bit. We'll add some more water in there. I've chosen a few all right, now we're going to put a couple of handfuls of our good worm castings in the top. And then we're just going to mix them in a little bit. Yes, Wyatt, Mama's doing some planting. Okay. And the lettuce that I've chosen to plant today, we have two kinds we're going to do. In this one, we're going to do an heirloom butterhead lettuce called Caggraner Summer. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but It says it's a heat-tolerant variety with softly folded rosettes of delicious buttery leaves. So what could sound better? So what we're going to do today, and I have to make my labels yet. I didn't do my labels, but we'll get to that. All right. Since this is a head lettuce, I'm going to put I'm going to make drills in the soil to put the seeds, and I'm going to put 2 seeds in each hole, I think. Hopefully I could still see them. Okay, these are actually dark seeds, so it's going to be kind of hard to tell, and I'll show you the label again. And we're going to try to get 2 in each hole. If we don't, that's okay too. But this way, we'll have our somewhat grid pattern, and we'll know which ones are the seeds and if there are any weeds. So, let's get those. We always love to have a nice blend, excuse me, of lettuces throughout the summer. We enjoy them very much. And I thought I would try these new ones since it said that it was heat tolerant. Do you have a favorite lettuce that you grow in the summer that works for you in your area, especially if you have a great deal of heat? I'd love if you put a comment in the box below, so that way maybe it's something that I'll try for next year. We're going to give the next pot another good drink of water. This one's very dry, and this one does have holes in the bottom, so it will leak out rather quickly. One thing about planting in containers that you need to keep an eye on is think of a dry sponge. If you allow the soil in your container to become so dry and rock hard, it's going to be like a dry sponge. And it's not going to want to accept the water that you put on it. It's just going to run off. And what happens is it'll run down the sides and out of the container. So if you have let your container get a little bit too dry, what you can do is just wet it very gently, then wet it again, wet it again. Don't soak it through with a hose because it'll just keep running off and it won't absorb into the soil as well as it should. So let's just stir this up a little bit on the top, very dry. I let this one got too dry for some reason, so I'll either have to move it because the lettuce will be in it, or I'll have to keep a better eye on it to be sure that I water it more frequently. Okay, we'll put some worm castings in this one also. And I'm curious to see if any more of these seeds propagate themselves that were in there. I did actually have 2 of the squash seeds after I had harvested the castings actually sprout. So I have them on the side. I don't know if I'll get anything out of them, but I'm going to try and grow them and see if we get anything. So let's give that a good water. And I apologize if the sound is not that great today. I do not have my mic on. All right. And the lettuce we're going to plant in here, another new one for me. It is a variety. Summer lettuce bouquet, European reds and greens. Beautiful heat-tolerant lettuce bouquet, chosen for taste, texture, and garden performance. And I've never ordered seeds from Renee's Seeds before, Renee's Garden, excuse me. And I've gotten a number of things. You know how you find a new place to order seeds from, and you go to town. So, oh, okay, and these are, because it is a seed variety, they are different colors. We're going to do the same thing in here that we did in the other one. We're just going to make some drills. We would like head lettuce, so we're going to put 2 seeds in each station and see how they make out. I've tried to be better this year about my succession planting. We did just come out of about 10 days of extreme heat, so I did not plant any seeds or transplants during that time. I was just too concerned that it wouldn't be a good idea. So I'm not considering myself behind, but I feel like I am. So that's the planting of the lettuce today in our containers. If you like today's video, give me a thumbs up. Have a great day. Happy gardening. One last thing that I'm going to do with these containers, since I have had a problem with critters, mice or otherwise, I learned a little tip from Michael Brotherton's channel. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate this one. Going to give it a try here in my garden. If you haven't been over to his channel, please go check it out. He's got a lot of things going on, and it's a very enjoyable channel. I'm putting some used coffee grounds across the top, and the reason for that is it's supposed to deter the mice. I'm hoping it'll also work for chipmunks, if that's been my problem with seeds lately. So we're just going to sprinkle some of these used coffee grounds across the top, and if nothing else, it'll add a little bit of nitrogen to the soil, which the lettuce will enjoy. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you're having a good day in your garden, wherever you are. If you like today's video, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I always enjoy hearing from you. Have a great day. Happy gardening.